Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Evan Freiberger, and today we're going to be covering the severe weather out there. We've got an enhanced risk that actually extends very close to Chicago, over there near Peoria, just north of Indianapolis, moving into Kokomo, Lima, and then also into Ohio. We have a slight risk and a little bit of a portion over there near Lima, Ohio, in that enhanced risk as well. Around that, we have a marginal risk as well, and we're going to be going over the latest forecast for you guys out there in terms of the severe weather. But welcome in, everybody. Hopefully everybody is doing all right. Hello, hello. Hi, hi, hi. Welcome in. Welcome in. Is anybody in the severe weather risk that's already in chat? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. And if you guys could go ahead and hit that like button so we can start this stream off good. And also consider sharing this stream if you know anybody that is in the path of these storms that might need a little bit of an update. So share it on your social medias as well. Right here in the enhanced near Peoria. All right. That's not good. Sorry to hear that. You're in Peru, Illinois. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, if you haven't already, come over here and post on Weather Circle. So that you guys can put your little dot on the map, and so when we do our forecast, you guys can actually see where you are in relation to the threats that we have for tomorrow. So we'll give everybody a little bit of time to come over here to Weather Circle. Let me go ahead and get that link up here. Or do we have any mods in chat that can do that? Probably not. There it is. Okay. There we go. And then, yeah, here's that link in chat. If you guys have any questions, come over here to Weather Circle, post them over here in the Hangout. We'll have this up over here. And yeah, your little bubble will pop up on the map. And then when we do our forecast, like we're going to be doing a timing forecast when it comes to our future radar. And you're going to want to see when the storms are going to come by in your area. You're also, we're also going to be talking about the threats that are highlighted by the SPC, and so we're going to be going it's going to be helpful for you if you have your little dot on the map so you can see where you are in relation to the threats that we're talking about. Tampa, Florida. Oh man. Dayton, Ohio. Welcome in. Welcome in. Did I hear about the tornado threat in the Middle East tomorrow? Yeah, I've been hearing about that, but we don't cover severe weather in the Middle East yet. I don't think they have any radars over there, but I do think they must have radars because we do have over here with our global radar does pop up did pop up some storms over there near Saudi Arabia. Yeah, and some little storms over there near south of Dubai over there. What are you laughing at? Ay, ay, ay. Anyways, let's come back over here. Some outlets should have live cams in Saudi Arabia. Oh, like routers and stuff like that. That would be interesting if you could get like a tornado in Saudi Arabia live on a camera. Ozark, Missouri. Okay, okay. How do you share location? You come over here to your profile. You got to make sure that you have your public profile on, and then also show me on map clicked on here as well. How many people do we have tuning in right now? All right, guys, we are about to go over the forecast. So again, if you do want to make sure that you are on the map before we do that forecast, right now is the time to do that. So if you are in this risk area, make sure that you are posting in Weather Circle. Again, that is weathercircle.app. Come on over here, make a post. You just come over to public hangout, and then you make a post, and then it shows it on the map. Hello, hello. My location won't share on the browser, but I can't use the Hangout on the one on my home screen. Wait, what? Location won't share on the browser. Oh, yeah, that might be something to do with your computer. Hey, thank you, Wilson, or like the permissions that you have set up, for becoming a member for 2 months. I do appreciate that. Thank you for being a WimD member. And Lola the Tornado, thank you for being a member for 39 friggin' months. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. How you doing, by the way? An EF1 member. Can you imagine? For that long, it doesn't even feel like we've been we've been going live for over 3 years. You're probably gonna have to change your browser settings on that. Seems like we're getting way more enhanced future cast. What do you mean? Pretty good, pretty busy. Yeah, I feel you on that. You're ready for the news part of the show? We do have a little news story to go over. A little bit of a news story. You're not on the screen. Oh, he said our news guy, our new news guy. I'm not gonna say his name yet. We're leaving it as a surprise, but maybe we'll do like a millisecond. Okay. Did y'all see that? Yeah, we do have a guest on the show. He's muted right now. You missed it. Dang it. Sorry. Can I get a link to that app? Yeah, let me put that in the chat. Yeah, it's weathercircle.app. You just come over here, you go over to the Hangout, you click the post bubble here, and then you just type in what's happening. And then that'll not only show me, what you're talking about over here, but also, put your location on the map. And don't worry, when I zoom in, it goes away. So your location is not going to get doxed. How do they know that Chaz is here? Chazzy? What? Can they hear him? You think? I don't know. Is he panting like really loud? I can't hear him. I got the music in my ears. Oh, Chaz, the new guy? The news guy? No, he's not. We just know. They have Chaz ESP. Brownsburg, Indiana. Yeah, if you have questions about tomorrow's risks, come over to weathercircle.app. We're about to do a full forecast here. Just trying to give everybody enough time to make sure that they can get their little post bubble on the map. As again, this is, you'll be able to go over your risk, whether you're in the enhanced risk, a tornado risk, what kind of tornado risk, all of that, very specific details for your exact area. Never before seen on on YouTube, or probably ever. It's probably the first time, well, we've done this multiple times, but this is probably the first time we've actually been able to get you guys from chat on a map. Trey and Evan collaboration would be amazing. Maybe we'll do an interview now that we're news peeps. Is this tomorrow's weather? Yes, this is going to be for tomorrow. Yes. Who's the other person? Well, I'll be introducing him after the forecast. I don't want to get too carried away. I want to stay focused, at least for this for now, and then we'll do a little bit of a news story. But all right, let's go ahead and hop into this. Mods, if anybody asks like how they get onto the app, just have something prepared to tell them. But anyways, why is that barely popping up down there? I guess you can kind of see it. That's fine. We don't really need that up there, actually. Let me take that off. All right. So yeah, out there across the United States, we'll take off like we always do, the bubbles for now, so everybody can see like their cities and stuff, and then we'll bring it back when we get into a little bit more details. But we currently have an enhanced risk. It's a 3 out of 5 for severe weather out across portions of Illinois going into Indiana and Ohio. We're talking about Lima, Muncie, Kokomo, Fort Wayne, Kankakee, Gary, Aurora, Peoria, Bloomington, and Urbana. And around that, we have a slight risk, a 2 out of 5 for severe weather. That's going to be Waukegan, Chicago. You could definitely make the argument that Southern Chicago is going to be in that enhanced risk there. But yeah, like Aurora is kind of like in Chicago, but not really. It's just on the outskirts. You got Burlington in the 2 out of 5 for severe weather. You got Decatur, Bloomington, Indianapolis, maybe northern Indianapolis. You could make the argument that that is in that enhanced risk. Dayton, Columbus, Canton, Akron, Cleveland, Toledo, Ann Arbor, and Kalamazoo there in parts of Michigan. And then we also have a marginal risk as well. And that's going to be including parts of Michigan going into Pennsylvania, West Virginia, over there into Ohio, northern Kentucky, southern Indiana, southern Illinois, and then going over there into northeastern Missouri and eastern Iowa. So a decent area where folks are going to need to be paying attention to the weather tomorrow. And one of the reasons why that is, let me go ahead and get this off the screen, as we do have a risk out there for some strong tornadoes tomorrow. Now, it's not a very high risk. We're talking about a 2% over here in the green and a 5% over here in the brown, but you know, the absolute ceiling for this event is going to be an EF2 tornado being possible. So we're talking about a stalled front. We're talking about a little bit more of a chance in comparison to the last kind of stalled front that we had caused convection when we had a decent amount of small hail that happened in some instances of larger hail last week. And this one is going to be a little bit more intense. We might have a little bit of a better chance of storms firing in our warm sector. So that's why we are a little bit concerned. So if you are Caleb, JC, Robert, Gina, very cool, McNugget, Dee Ditch, you guys are in that 5% tornado risk. So you guys need to be watching out. Also, Fort Wayne, Kokomo, Limo, Toledo, Columbus, Kankakee, Bloomington, Urbana, Decatur, and Aurora. Also in the 2% hatched risk. So still technically the upper ceiling for you is going to be strong tornadoes. But and again, that's the ceiling. Most likely you won't see that. It's a 2%. You'll likely not even see a tornado at all, but a 2% chance. I would somewhat be weather aware. Over there, Faith G. Jones near Akron. Daniel, you're like right on the line there of the 5%, the 2%. And then around that, we have a 2% non-hash risk, which means probably not going to see anything, but definitely would be somewhat weather aware for some of our other risks out there. Like, for instance, we are going to potentially see some very large hail with this storm. This could be the main story with this storm. We have a 30% chance of some very large hail. And again, that's going to be hail 2 inches and above. So if you live in eastern Illinois going into northern Indiana and western Ohio, you guys definitely need to be weather aware here in the red. In the yellow with this dashed line over it, that is a 15% chance for some very large hail. We're talking about Toledo, Ann Arbor, Kalamazoo, Dayton, Decatur, Burlington, Davenport, Waukegan, all need to be weather aware. So big day tomorrow for some hail. Again, this is for tomorrow, so this is going to be happening pretty soon. Also, our damaging wind risk is going to be present once it loads. There it is. You can see that we also have some chances tomorrow for some significant damaging winds. That's going to be for 75-mile-per-hour winds and above. So we're definitely talking about the potential for some trees to fall, some branches to fall, potentially some power outages to be possible. And the highest chance for that is going to be here in the red. Kind of the same areas we've said over and over with that hail risk and with the tornado risk are all got to watch out for some damaging winds of 75 miles per hour and above. 30% chance here in the red for that. So that's Robert, that's Gina, very cool. And also the McNugget is in that. And I think Caleb, you're just inside of that or just on the line, but I would be keeping an eye on it. And in the yellow, that's a 15% chance for some very large hail. That's going to be Dee Ditch and RJ Dare. And then back over here, K1521, you're in a 5%. Tracy, you're in a 15% for some large hail. So we're not talking about 2 inches in not hail. Damaging wind 60 miles per hour and above over there near Faith and Tracy. And it looks like Mary Mac and let me see who this is. And Miss Mary Mac, and then we have someone behind them, the Cynical Banana. Looks like you guys are just outside of that damaging wind risk. Going into day 3, we have no severe thunderstorms forecasted. So this is only going to be like a one-day event, kind of a quick hit and run, I would say, by the storm. It's going to come through, cause a little bit of damage. Hopefully nothing too crazy. But again, as you've seen, there is definitely some potential there. All right, so there is that. So that's the overview. So now let's get down and nerdy on this storm. Go ahead and bring this up. I've never had like a live stream in a very long time where we haven't had our any warnings. So I just kind of slap something together. Okay. That. By the way, if you see anything over here, that you want to bring up. I'll unmute you. Because when I'm looking at here, I can't really look at the chat. You're unmuted. Test. Just do a test. Do another one. Oh, it's not coming out. Say it again. No. Huh. Interesting. All right, we'll have to definitely figure that out. All right, sorry about that. Boy, fun. It's always something. It's always something. All right, well, first, starting off with our 300 millibar winds. This is going to be where our forcing is going to be going into tomorrow. Not going to really spend too much time, but as we get into around 2 to 3, 4 p.m., you can see that we do have a little area here, very similar to what happened yesterday. Let me get my pen tool up here really quick. And you can see right here, we got winds moving directly east. Oh my gosh. Yeah, winds moving to from the east, or from the west to the east there, and then down here you can see our winds are kind of moving in this direction, and right in between that, that's where your little void's going to form, and thunderstorms are going to be able to bubble up. So, you know, obviously going to be some storm activity there. That's where our forcing is going to be. Further down in the atmosphere, these are 500 millibar winds. They're pretty decent as we move into tomorrow on the 26th, and then our lower level winds, which is where is really going to dictate our tornado threat for tomorrow. You can see that we are going to have potentially a little bit of a short wave coming into around 4 through 8, where we're going to start to see some decent lower level shear, potentially up to 55 knots. So a lot of these winds are going to be pretty parallel to the winds up and above in the upper portions of the atmosphere. So we're not going to have a whole lot of perpendicularity, but you know, you get some storms do the right thing. You could get some tornadoes and even maybe a strong tornado in this environment. Now, that lower level shear is going to be pretty strong. So if we get any strong storms, brings those winds down to the surface, that's why you're going to see that chance for some 75-mile-per-hour winds and above. So that is why, you know, we have those risks, at least from that perspective. Now, coming down a little bit closer to our surface, one of the things I do want to compare and contrast is going to be pretty important with this event. Our dew points are not going to be very high. But they are going to be hanging around these 60-degree dew points, which is about what you are looking for to sustain severe weather. Also, we are noticing here on our models a little bit of that lake boundary that we dealt with that Kankakee tornado that we had not too long ago. Not going to be the same scenario. But you know, definitely gonna, you know, if we have any storms north of that, they're going to be elevated hailers. There's not going to be much of a tornado threat with that. But further to the south, you know, you get just the right storm, you could see a tornado or two. So definitely watch out. But again, our dew points back over here in Illinois and Indiana as our storms get started are going to be on the lower side, with most of our favorable moisture for tornadic activity further off into the east into Indiana and Ohio. So that's what we're talking about in terms of our moisture. You kind of need all these things in order to get a storm. It's kind of like a recipe. You know, you got the beef, which is the, you know, the moisture. You got the shell of it, which is the storm, the low pressure system. You got that sprinkling in the cheese, which is what we're going to be talking about next, which is our surface-based cape. This is our storm energy with the moisture. You mix that with the heat. You're going to get some instability, some buoyancy out there, and that's going to allow air parcels to rise as our storm comes through. Got about 1,800 joules per kilogram with some pockets out here of 2100 joules per kilogram out there. And if we compare these to our other models, you can see a lot of our models are in agreement with some of those with that boundary a little bit further to the south and some of them with that boundary a little bit further to the north. So there is a little bit of uncertainty with this event, but overall it really does seem like we're going to have plenty of instability for our storm. So that's really not going to be much of a factor. Now, one of the things that are really in this storm's favor kind of at all is our SIN, and this is our surface inversion, or our capping, our mid-level inversion. And as you can see, going into 3 p.m., the atmosphere is going to be pretty capped south of the boundary, so it's going to be hard for storms to fire there. There does seem like maybe a small opportunity from around 3 going all the way into around 5 where that capping inversion is going to be small. But I mean, once we get into like 7, 8 p.m., that capping inversion is going to be fully building in, and nothing's going to be able to fire post for our prefrontal at all. So we're mainly going to probably be still having some severe weather by this point, some big hailers up further up to the north. But that's the latest there. So as you can see, the environment is a little bit conditional, kind of like that last event. But if we do get storms that can fire prefrontal and then move, maybe interact with the front, you could get the potential for some spinning storms. You know, you get some SRH a little bit stronger near those boundaries. And so if you just get the right scenario, you might even be able to get a strong tornado. But yeah, so that's what we're talking about right there. So let's go ahead and zoom in just a tiny bit here. Zoom in just a tiny bit. We'll go over regional, and then we'll hop over and zoom in pretty close here. And I do want to compare and contrast between our precipitation, and then we'll go over the timing of that precipitation for the folks that have their dots on the map. But yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So this is the HRRR, and again, our environment is technically favorable for all of the things that we have talked about in terms of our threats. Let me move this actually over here because I'm kind of blocking some of y'all. Do that. There we go. But yeah, so this is the HRRR going into around 4 p.m. You can see that we start to see some storms around 5, 6, 7 p.m. Looks like storms get initiated right around 5 p.m. So you can see got some storms there along our boundary. Looks like they're north of, let me see where that we'll bring up our severe weather. Yeah, it looks like that is north of our main instability right there. So they're gonna have to push down further to the south in order to hit that instability, but you can still get some elevated hailers in this environment. Not a whole lot of instability, but you get some pretty cool temperatures above the surface. Lapse rates are really low. Our mid-level lapse rates, though, are 7.9. Decent instability profile, so you could still get some pretty big hailers north of there, but probably won't really see too much until it gets further down into the south into some of our better instability. But one thing I do want to do is just kind of look at the difference between our models in terms of our coverage. The main thing that we're watching for are storms to fire to the south of this boundary. If all storms fire to the north of it, we're not going to really be talking about any tornado threat at all. It's going to be all big hailers. But the HRRR really doesn't show much. It shows some storms riding on the boundary, and also going into that instability, like this storm back over here definitely has a pretty big hail core. There might have to watch out for a spin up on the leading edge of that. Okay, it's not loading any of these. Okay, there we go. Yeah, most models kind of show the same thing. Yeah. Seems like it's pretty mixed also in terms of like storms firing at all at this point. I mean, decent agreement between our impasses. NAM3 CONUS, mostly convex on the on our stalled boundary there. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm just not seeing it. I'm not really seeing the tornado threat. And it's a pretty contaminated. I mean, with our wind bars being so parallel, yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty conditional day, as you guys see. Most likely scenarios that we're going to get some damaging winds and some large to very large hail with a conditional threat for some tornadoes. But it looks like a lot of these storms are firing to the north of our boundary, and with those parallel winds in the lower and upper levels, it's not piquing my interest too much right now. But it'll be something to watch out for if we can get some storms like out in front of the boundary. The environment's technically there. There will be technically enough forcing. Really just depends if any storms can get rooted in that warm sector as that lower level shear builds up as we go later into the day or into the nighttime. But you know, if the environment's fully capped out by that point, I mean, we're talking like going into 7, 8, 9, our capping inversion builds back in, and you can see our convection really starts to fall apart there. So yeah, it looks like a pretty darn conditional day if you ask me. All right. You see, but I'm blind and have no idea what I'm looking at. well, you're looking at a future radar. But let's come over here. This will be a little bit better. If you guys put your name on the map out over here on weathercircle.app, we are now going to go over the timing for everybody. So let's go ahead and pull that up here. We'll go over to our forecast models, and then we'll bring up the HRRR. And now you guys know that, you know, there is some uncertainty in this event, so don't take the HRRR as 100% ground truth. Obviously, you know, we have some different models showing different things. Some models not even showing storms really getting started at all, with some of them showing mostly, you know, frontal storms rather than prefrontal storms. But relatively speaking, you guys do need to be weather aware tomorrow. So let's kind of go over our forecast so you guys can get your timing. So starting at around 4 p.m. over there near RLG O'Dare. You guys need to be watching out for storms by around 4 p.m. Also some rain and thunderstorms over there near K1521, and then over there near JW29430, just west of Jamestown by around 4 p.m. Could have some showers and thunderstorms. And then storms really get started as we move into around 5 to 6 p.m. You can see back over there near Chicago, could be some stronger storms, but they also, I mean, at least the HRRR is showing some heavy rain, maybe a little bit of hail. That's about it. Back over here near South Bend, you can see that we have a pretty strong storm, bowing out a little bit, might have some damaging winds. And some very large hail associated with it. So, you know, if this storm is back over there near Chicago, then Chicago's gonna have a bad time. And one of the things that I really want to kind of put into perspective here is that all these storms at this point are going to be behind the front and mainly just hailers. The tornado threat should be pretty low at this point, as our moisture is going to be further down to the south. So just keep that in mind, but definitely could get some big hailers early on. Now, moving further into the future, you can see we have even more storms pop over here. We're at 7 p.m. That's going to be Janet Robert over there near JC44. We have a big storm going through Fort Wayne, Indiana. Again, this is just one model. This storm could be over there in Findlay. The storm could also be back over here near Kankakee or over there near Lafayette. Again, these models aren't telling us the 100% truth. Things are going to happen a little bit different. We do have some storms over here near Findlay that are maybe a little bit either convecting on the frontal boundary. What? Oh. Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, I think Louisville's going to be pretty good. You guys are out of this threat for the most part. But yeah, thank you for letting me know. That's the first time you said anything. They can't hear you. We're going to figure that out, I promise. But yeah, so that's what we're talking about there for Fort Wayne. But yeah, let's go ahead and push this forward. Interesting thing is, by the time we move into it around 9 p.m., still gonna have some strong thunderstorms over there near JC444, Robert, Piezo, and Caleb. Again, these are either gonna be strong with big hail, or they're gonna be struggling because they're, you know, they could still be removed from the instability, and that capping inversion is gonna start to build in by now. Also over there just north of Kokomo, have some strong storms starting to move down further to the south towards Very Cool and the McNugget. Also still a decent amount of storms. My guys might have to watch out for some flooding over here near Galesburg, Peoria, and Bloomington. Then this is going down towards Lee's Down by 11 p.m. D-Day Ditchco by 11 p.m. Lots of heavy rain and lightning probably by Faith G and Tracy. Let me bring this back. Yeah, that's going to start by 9 p.m. By 10 p.m. moving to Jen and JT Mech. But yeah, you can see, I mean, we're going to have a lot of coverage of storms out there going pretty much all the way into the nighttime. And then as we go into around 9, 10, 11 p.m., that is when our cap really starts to build in. But we could still get some hailers with that capping inversion. But I mean, it could just be storm after storm after storm for a lot of folks over here into northern Ohio, going into Kokomo and Urbana. They just kind of train over this one area for a decent amount of time. I mean, we're talking about multiple hours here of very heavy rain, some strong winds, and also maybe some hail. But I think the hail is going to slowly dissipate as we get further into the night. But yeah, after around 2 a.m. on Friday, this turns into a little skinny bird fart storm, and then really not really expecting much out of it going into the future, as the instability doesn't really build back in. And the capping inversion starts to hold pretty strong up there. But yeah, that is it for our forecast. What time tomorrow is the highest risk in Ohio? Who asked that? Honestly, I would say... Who? Oh, that real beauty? What? Oh, that real beauty. What time is the highest risk in Grover Hill? Okay, Grover Hill, Ohio. Oh, you're over here. Yeah, I would say your highest risk is certainly going to be like between 7 and 8. This storm, if it does exist here, it will hit you in around that time. Could be some very large hail, some pretty significant damaging winds by that with that storm, as well as you know, the more mature these storms get, the more of that lower level wind they're going to be able to bring down to the surface. So central Indianapolis is safe until about 9 to 10. Actually, it might not be until 2 a.m. until you guys get your storm. If you're a hail chaser, you'd be going to northern Indiana. Northern Indiana. I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Over there on the border of like Michigan and like northern Indiana. I would agree with that. These storms are interesting over there in Lima. It'll be interesting to see if these storms are elevated hailers and damaging wind only. Because as of right now, I mean, that's pretty much what I'm calling for. Could be a tornado risk, but it's pretty darn conditional. Pretty darn conditional, if you ask me. So we'll see how it actually pans out tomorrow. As it does look at, it's also going to be a pretty messy storm mode. But when you get big surges of wind and a cold pool surge, you can also see some things happen. What about tomorrow night? Okay, you're appreciated. You have 6 kids. Want to plan ahead. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. Come, I didn't acknowledge you. I was doing a forecast, brother. Like, what do you want me to do? All right, let's see if we can get your mic to work.
Hello, everyone.
Speak again. Popping up. Let me do another audio device.
Okay, that Roadcaster. No, it shouldn't. Dude, I'm honest with you. This
might. I don't know why it wouldn't show up on where my mic is. I know. That's what's mysterious about all this. Like, why isn't it sending it in? Might just have to share a mic.
Anything about it being muted?
No, it should be going straight to the PC. It's mic.
Sorry, well, we diagnosed some technical difficulties, y'all.
Nah, I don't know. We'll have to just share. Like goobers. We'll figure it out after the stream.
You know, growing pains, y'all. Oh, I popped into the.
Popped in?
I did.
Why
Before it was supposed to be.
You haven't even
timed.
announced it yet.
It
What are
hasn't
you
been
doing?
announced. I know.
What are you doing? You're ruining the show. It's ruined now. We're ending the stream.
Sorry.
That's it.
Surprise.
We're ending the stream.
Now, guys.
The fourth wall has been broken.
Call me dead.
Okay. All right. So yes, we are doing the announcement. Do you have your story ready?
I do.
Camera's over there.
Yeah, I can just pull this up and we'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll stop freaking out.
Hey guys, welcome. This is gonna be a new segment we do.
I don't even know what to show.
You could pull up. It's the main story that I was reading off of was NPR, yeah, where it's Trump basically declared victory. I mean, guys, I think
we haven't done the announcement.
Oh yes.
Oh wait, sorry, guys. We are going to be doing news now. We're going to be doing news, as you could tell. Yeah, I'm retiring and giving the business to Josh. That's what I'm doing. He's going to be taking over. He has no weather experience whatsoever. Wait, your arm's showing up. Can you like move more over this way? You're breaking the illusion. There we go. Okay. But yeah. So we're gonna do a little news segment here. And we're gonna. Oh, chat just connected. That's great. And it's back. Epstein.
Oh, trust me, there's 2 stories. That is in there.
Oh yeah, I think we are gonna be doing an Epstein story. You know, it's a slow weather season when you have to cover news. I guess. I mean, we're gonna be doing both.
Yeah.
Best way to learn is to jump right in. Exactly. So, why don't you take it away, Josh? And
so, I mean, I guess we could.
You're showing up.
Again, I see.
Hold on. The problem with this is that I'm running out of space.
Yeah, cables are difficult, you know.
That's as close as I can.
I'll be all right. So basically, I think the breaking news right now, we have 2 breaking stories. One, Trump's declared victory. I mean, I guess the war in Iran is over, y'all. I think we're going to be okay. It's done. It's over. It's complete. It's just completely done. You can disregard all the stories you see about bombing in Israel, the fact that there was a residential neighborhood hit in Israel. I believe it was either today or yesterday with 4 people injured, 2 people dead, I believe. And then also the fact Trump did declare there would be a 5-day ceasefire where we wouldn't at least hit their energy infrastructure. And, you know, I guess, guys, the main thing is the war in Iran is over, according to Trump, if you believe him, at least.
It's literally, yeah, he's obviously being, what's the word? Sarcastic. But yes, Trump has for the 30th time declared victory in Iran. But again, for like also the 30th time, Iran has denied having any talks with them. The most news that we have right now is that they put in a, what is it, a 15-point plan to Iran, breaking down exactly what they wanted, the United States wanted for Iran, and Iran was like, "You're crazy. We're not going to do that." And that's kind of where things stand right now. We also have news that the United States is deploying thousands of troops, Marines. You know a lot about the Army. I don't know as much. Why don't you tell everybody why they are sending Marines instead of the Navy or the Army, or try to keep it brief.
All right. So brief story is they're going to be sending both. The Marines usually don't go anywhere without the Navy. That is their shuttle. So the Marines, there is actually a slight delay for the Marines actually making landfall in the nation is what they're talking about.
Sounds like a hurricane.
I mean, you know, we're on a weather channel, so I might use some weather terms here, but there is, yeah, exactly. See, you know, we're adapting. So that delay is coming from Trump saying that they're in talks. Those talks that they are, you know, oftentimes the truth is in the middle. Oftentimes the truth is in the middle. So where Trump might be saying that the war is over and won and that he's negotiating with Iran, and Iran might be saying that they haven't talked to the US at all. The truth is kind of what we're finding out is that there are talks happening. It's happening through back channels. We're using Pakistan to mediate.
You're supposed to be explaining why
the Marines, because they're the tip of the spear. That's if we're ever going to have a mainland invasion, or we're going to, you know, we want to go somewhere and make an impact, we're going to send Marines. I mean, they're crazy. They're insane. They're going to, like, if you want to send anyone to send a message, you send the Marines. I mean, the Army is more of an occupying force to begin with, if you actually know how we use our military, where the Marines is an invading force. They're meant to take on a larger defending force head on and basically use aggression as default to take objectives. So that would be why we are deploying those. And they're also trained to deploy from the U.S. Navy carriers, as well as LHDs and LPDs. So that would be from my Navy experience where I would know that from. I was actually on a ship that was meant to transport Marines when I was in, and we could carry about 850 Marines to 300 sailors. So, you know, that's where you're going to see the Navy and Marines in joint operations, as well as, if you didn't know, the Navy is our largest air force in the region. That's why when we send carrier strike groups to the region, that's how we can have air power there. And yeah, there's the little long story short.
So what I don't understand, do we have a location and where these guys are going yet? It's the 82nd Airborne Division. Has that been? That's what everybody's been saying, but is that actually where they're going? A ready unit, yeah, it's a ready unit in the Middle East, prepared to be called upon if needed. The source said the 82nd Airborne Division made a similar movement. So yeah, so they're basically being deployed in order to be deployed again. They're being deployed into the region, and then eventually, when they decide where they're gonna put them, then yeah. And I personally am feeling uncomfortable that we are sending you know, some people's children into war with a country that pretty much everywhere on the coast. What the heck is this? Pretty much everywhere on the coast is basically just a cliff. And if where it's not a cliff, there's probably an underground base just waiting for people. And one of the things that I'm concerned is if we do go to Karg Island, we've been telegraphing that for like a month. What if they've just, like, what do they have on that island that's waiting for people to deploy there is what I'm afraid of. Because if I was Iran and I was scared to death that somebody was going to blow up my entire, the entirety, like, what is it like?
That's their entire 90%.
It's 90% of their oil. And if I was afraid that someone was going to do that, and I'm a country that practices martyrdom, I am likely going to just blow that shit up with everybody on the island.
No, that's stupid.
It sounds stupid, but they're going to blow it up anyways.
It's their biggest bargain.
Well, hold on. You say what you got to say.
I mean, I don't think that they would blow it. I think that it's for control of Karg Island. So if we deploy troops to Karg Island, we're going to try to keep as much of the energy infrastructure in place as possible because we want that. We need that. I mean, that's going to help bring down fuel prices. And if we have control over the Strait of Hormuz, that's a much better than Iran having control over the Strait of Hormuz. And Karg Island is a key aspect in that.
So from a military perspective, like, how would the thing that I'm like, if they're gonna blow it up from a military perspective, how do you defend against that? Here's my question: do you think that they're gonna send troops to Karg Island to take it over, or do you think they're just gonna bomb the crap out of it?
So, I mean, to accomplish what I was just talking about and to actually keep some of the energy infrastructure still make semi-functionable, I would only see troops as the only solution. Airstrikes are only capable of destruction. Troops are capable of occupying and taking over. So you're gonna need a hard force in the region, aka American troops, Marines, sailors, are actually gonna need to set foot on that land to take control. I mean, that's in case that is if Trump's not telling the truth and the war in Iran is not over. I mean, could be that way. Who knows?
Yeah, I think we all know at this point that the war is not over yet. I mean, we're sending troops, maybe not to be deployed. There's no 100% confirmation. A lot of people have been saying that they're definitely 100% going to get deployed, but we still don't actually have 100% confirmation. They're actually going to be deployed on the ground, and we don't have a specific location yet that is set in stone, even though a lot of people are thinking it's going to be Karg Island. So we don't know yet. Really, in my opinion, don't think that that'll be a great idea. But yeah, let's move on to our next story, which is
been scrolling nicely for you guys to read. Is
what? Which one do you want to do?
Pambondi.
Pambondi. All right.
Yeah.
Pambondi.
Now we get into Epstein.
Okay. Where's my X? Well, why don't you just pull up?
All right.
And summarize.
Microphone. I'll start reading right here. So, most recently, as of Oh no.
Why is it the first thing that pops up?
So I don't know how many of you guys have been following this, but on March 4th, the House Oversight Committee voted 24-19 in a bipartisan vote to subpoena AG Pam Bondi. The subpoena is about the DOJ's handling of the Epstein files. It was led by Republican Nancy Mace and joined by fellow Republicans Tim Burchett and Michael Cloud, Lauren Boebert, and Scott Perry, plus basically all Democrats on the committee. She's ordered to testify under oath. On March 17th, a second subpoena was issued, reinforcing the demand for her to appear before the committee. On March 18th, Bondi and Todd Blanche gave a closed-door briefing on the Epstein files. Democrats walked out mid-briefing because when asked repeatedly whether she would comply with the subpoena for her sworn deposition, Bondi refused to answer yes. Republican Stansberry said publicly that they were all shocked she wouldn't commit. CNN Chiron, Attorney General at the center of the heated Epstein hearing. So, and then the final update, or most recent update as of yesterday, is it was verified that Pam Bondi was at Graceland with Trump. She's done nothing to comply with what the House subpoena was asked of her, and she hasn't met with any supervisors and is still yet to testify under oath. Clearly, we would have tons of videos of that circulating if that happened. Yes. So, the last time we saw Pam Bondi testify under oath, she basically came out and just said that if we released everything in the Epstein files unredacted, our government wouldn't exist anymore.
I mean, that is speculation. We don't know exactly who is in the files because they're not releasing it. And I think that's the most infuriating thing, is that we have hints and we kind of know like who's in the files, like low key, but we don't actually have the burning evidence, the nail in the coffin yet, because they haven't released any of the files. Like, and they keep on trying to do this. They keep on saying that, like, we don't have to release the files because there's no more damaging stuff. You guys don't need to see it. It's no big deal. Just why is everybody still talking about the files? We should be talking about the war in Iran. The war in Iran, right, guys? Right. Yeah. Let's bomb a country, and then now we'll talk about something else. And apparently, we did get some reporting that at the beginning of the Iran war, once it started, they deleted 43,000 files, and we'll never know what was on those.
Oops.
And so I don't think it's to anybody's surprise that Pam Bondi won't commit to the hearing on April 14th. It's been a very obvious thing that they've been covering this thing up. Everybody's mad about it. If you're a Democrat or Republican, it doesn't really matter. Everybody wants justice for for these victims that have been either violated, murdered, or what some people are thinking is also maybe turned into jerky, which is terrible. Don't joke about that, man. Sorry. What are you doing?
I was trying to let you hint at
Jesus. Jeez Louise. Anyways, but yeah, so that is the I think that's the least surprising thing that has happened during this. It would be great, but I think what happened last time is the same thing that's gonna happen this time. Is if she does testify, she's gonna be like, "Don't you guys know the Dow is 50,000 points and that Roy McIlroy got 7th place in a golf tournament?" It's like she's not gonna say anything and give any information. So I don't even know why they're trying to subpoena her. But I do like the fact that they did launch an impeachment against her. What does everybody in chat think? Dude, Cruz, please stop spamming my chat, dude. Please. It is super annoying. He spammed that message like 8 times now. It's a dog and pony show. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think at this point, like everybody can agree it doesn't matter who you put into office. It's just going to be the same bullshit. It's going to be, you know, politicians completely controlled by billionaires, and it doesn't matter what flavor it is. It's all the same recipe, and it's all the same corruption.
Matter. You know, I do think something that's interesting, and, you know, I don't know how much you guys think about this, but this is something I think about a lot with the Epstein files, that some of the most important information that has came out on the Epstein files. Oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought.
Focus. We're live.
So some of the most important information that's come out on the Epstein files so far. Oh my God. I had this. It was perfect transition.
Give it back.
Yeah, you take it back. I'm gonna.
I have no idea what he was going to talk about, but he's getting nervous, guys. Give him a second. Take a deep breath, Joshua. Take a swig of that monster.
I already.
Oh, well, maybe that's the problem.
I think
Maybe actually don't get another one. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I mean, if you look at it, did you figure it out?
No, someone just said.
What? I can't hear you. Why is the screen black? Because we don't have any news articles pulled up. Well, this is just kind of the. Let me actually do this. Actually, let me do. It's this, that, and then just bring this to the beginning. Aha! No screen. How about now? All right, Joshua, did you remember what you're gonna say? Or are you getting distracted by the lights and the chat and the colors and golly. He suffers from ADHD too, guys. Looks awkward. What should we put over we don't have anything to put over there. That's the problem. We're gonna have like this whole setup ready. It's not gonna be this same background. We're gonna do a completely different thing. But this is just kind of thrown together here.
I remember.
So, oh, you did.
I did remember.
You did remember.
I did remember.
That sounds like past tense. Do you still remember?
I'm just going to take this. So the main leaks of the Epstein files, and the main reason that we even have all this information to begin with, is just general government incompetence. Whether it's them literally covering those files in Microsoft Word or Paint, whatever they used, and you could literally copy paste certain documents to view redacted names. The fact that they released more victims than they did perpetrators. Like, I feel like all of this is just so telling to me, and it really is sad. You know, you want to see some type of accountability, but when you gaslight the victims over revealing the actual perpetrators, you know, it's one thing, right? And you have to look at it too for what it was. Epstein was running the largest blackmail operation that we know of our lifetimes. And to really, what's the better phrasing for this?
Think.
To be effective at what he was doing, he had to operate relatively in the shadows. So, you know, these clients, we don't know who he was all blackmailing, but we really would like to. And you know what? If you're being blackmailed by Epstein for whatever it is, it's something so heinous that it's like, yes, you are a victim of blackmail, but you did something to be blackmailed for. So it just hurts that we can't get these names and actually some level of accountability for these people. So hopefully we do soon. It's probably not going to come from Pam Bondi. I wonder what will happen if that impeachment will go through, if she doesn't go to her testimony that she's been subpoenaed for. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, we're not going to get any answers, period. I mean, you got to think about it. Who is the people that actually give justice in the United States? It's the Department of Justice. It's literally that they're the last people in line, and the big taco, the big chalupa on the top. All right. Department of Justice. Nobody's above the Department of Justice. Nobody. I mean, you could say maybe the Supreme Court is. But, I mean, they don't have anything to enforce. Like, if the Supreme Court says Pam Bondi has to go, what are they going to do? Send the Supreme Court police? They don't have any enforcement. Pam Bondi has a crap ton of enforcement. She is the letter of the law, and she will not follow the law. So we're not going to get any answers until she's out. So I do think the fact that we are starting to see a consensus from both the Republicans and the Democrats coming together and saying it's time to get rid of this hoe, then yeah, it's time to get rid of her. And so she needs to be impeached. She needs to be replaced. Now, here's the next thing. She needs to be replaced by somebody that everybody can trust. And I don't know who that is. Maybe we can have another show and talk about that.
Hijack this real quick. William Munger, but my favorite taco toppings, that's going to be, I like authentic tacos coming from San Diego. So onions, cilantro, a little bit of table cream, and yeah, that's, oh, and some salsa verde. That's the perfect taco. Sorry, off topic.
What's up? Let's see. Is it going to be a general news and political news, regardless of right or left wing? Yeah, I mean, we're going to be like, I have so many critiques of the left and of the right. I hate both pretty equally. There are some people that are on either side that I think are doing pretty good reporting. But I know I really want to focus on the main problem with this channel, which is, or on this channel, which is going to be who controls everything. It's not the Democrats or the Republicans. It's the billionaires. And we are going to be reporting and telling all these news stories, obviously, giving our opinions on things. And, you know, sometimes our opinion will seem more right leaning and sometimes our opinion will seem more left leaning. Just depends on the situation. Democrats can come out with some absolute BS, and so can Republicans. So, you know, we're going to be calling it all out. Well, the main thing that we're going to try to do is set up moral principles and make sure that we apply those everywhere equally, regardless of party affiliation. But as of right now, Joshua doesn't vote. I don't vote. We haven't voted in a while.
I voted.
Oh, never mind. He voted last election. Want to tell everybody who you voted for?
No.
I haven't voted in a very long time. A lot of our friends haven't voted in a very long time. We're just kind of part of that group of people that has opinions, and no one's really satisfied what we were looking for.
Again, Evan says that. I'm not going to say who I voted for, but I did vote in the last election. You know, it's hard to justify and stomach a lot nowadays, you know, when you know that private interests are the ones that really big money talks, and those are the ones that are really going to approve or disapprove what actually gets passed, what bills are actually going to go through or die before they ever even get a chance. So, you know, but I do still participate in it. Just, I guess it's a feel good thing for me. I feel like I participated, and, you know, I get my little participation trophy. I feel like sometimes it'd do almost as good to write in the Hamburglar and vote for him. If he got enough votes, I feel like he'd do a much better job at leading our country, and we'd at least all have some cheeseburgers. So, you know, and we wouldn't have to worry about our leaders.
Didn't he steal cheese?
Well, yeah, but I mean, he could give them to us.
Why would he give us? His whole thing is stealing cheeseburgers.
Off topic. Sorry about that.
Off topic. You're the one that said hamburger.
Well, I was just, you know, making a fun metaphor. I guess that would be what that was. But yeah, you know, it's gonna take time. This is one of those things. We're not gonna see real change quickly.
Vermin Supreme 2028. Isn't that the guy with the boot on his head? No, the point that we're trying to make here, and that we will eventually really try to, you know, demonstrate throughout the channel, is that we need to change the leadership up entirely. Everybody that is currently in office needs to go and be replaced by people that aren't bought and paid for by corporations. It's literally every single one of them. You're not going to get any change when the corporations are spending millions and millions of dollars, and like, you can see it. You know, when corporations start lobbying for something, they get it. You know, when the people start shouting at the top of their lungs, hitting the streets, doesn't matter which side it is, and they want some change, it doesn't happen because they don't listen to you. You don't got the money. You're not paying for their next election. So that's the thing. We really want to boil that down, and I think everybody can get on that side, or not us side, but on board with, we need to just replace it all. We need to change it all. And we're going to be giving out, you know, reporting news, obviously, when it comes up, breaking news. And we're really going to just try to get down to the bottom, the root cause of things, and not be on the surface with stuff. We want to go all the way down into the nitty gritty, into the data, into the details, and really break down everything so that you guys can have a news source that is trying to actually, like, not just reporting news, but actually trying to diagnose the issue and putting a lot of effort into it. We're not going to just be taking news that we see and then throwing it in your face. We're going to put some thought behind it. Obviously, today's a little bit messy because we haven't really had a whole lot of time to organize this portion of the show. But how this is going to work, just in case some of you guys are wondering, you're like, oh my gosh, I came in here for a forecast. What the heck's happening? Like when I'm live for severe weather, we will have little moments in the live stream where we do this. If Josh is available, one of the things that we really want to do is, hopefully get Josh to quit his job. He does windows indoors. So, he's technically part of the severe weather team. He's just the guy that comes in after everybody's windows and doors gets busted in. But yeah, hopefully we can do some reporting. We're also, like, when there's we're going to be doing both at the same time. And if there's no severe weather, we're going to be doing live streams covering news, different types of news topics. We're going to be covering Iran, Israel, updates on that war. The United States, of course, is in there. Who knows? Maybe there'll be more in the future. Hopefully not. Hopefully it ends. We can actually focus attention back on the United States and the people that need to not. I mean, it's terrible out there. Have you been feeling the impacts of the gas yet? When you go to the gas pump, how do you feel? How does it make you feel?
It hurts, I have to drive about 60 miles every day for work, and I know I'm not alone. A lot of Americans have to commute very far, and it's not a great feeling when you're having to fill up 2 times a week, and it's double what it cost last week. So, I wish that Trump coming out and saying that the war was over isn't just him trying to manipulate markets. There are talks happening, as we discussed, through Pakistani back channels. But, from what we know, the first time he said that, it was when we were facing a massive crash, and now it's the same thing. So it's all smoke and mirrors. They're playing games with the stock market, with the economy, with, just the future of our nation.
I asked you about gas.
Exactly. Gas ties into everything. Energy prices affect the prices of groceries. They affect, obviously.
I was just asking about your experience, like how you feel.
Oh, it's brutal. I almost cry when I fill up my tank and it's like $40 now. And last week it was like $20. I'm like, the other day I went and paid in cash and I gave them 25 and I was like, oh, that'll fill my tank up. And then I looked at my thing and I was like, oh yeah, gas doubled because I was at half a tank. Yeah. So
that's some good math for you guys. It's bad. It's bad. Every time I fill up my gas tank, I am one step closer to being homeless. One step closer. It is. And also groceries are going up. Have you guys noticed that? Groceries are going up. I'm not sure if it's being reported yet, or if people are like really going into the details on that. But I think we should try to get some data on that for our show. And also when we're going to be talking about how much money is being spent to fight this war, we're not going to be saying in billions or millions. We're going to be saying how much does this cost in terms of your tax dollars. So how many hours does everybody have to work on average in order to pay for this war? And I think that number will shock you. It's bad. But yeah, we'll be talking about all of that in more detail, but this is just kind of an introduction thing. We wanted to practice, get a news story out there and just talk about it. Obviously when there's severe weather and tornadoes going on, that will be our focus. As that is breaking news in our country and where people's lives are actually at risk in our country. We will come in with little breaking news segments. Like if something comes out that's like, the ground shattering, like maybe the war in the Middle East really does end and we actually get a peace deal and everything settles down there. We'll report on that. If it goes haywire and China and Russia join in, there's nukes flying everywhere. We'll be, giving you guys updates on that as well. It really just depends on what happens, but those segments are going to be very brief. And they're only going to happen when Josh is here, because when I'm doing severe weather coverage, I don't have time to think about all of that. So when he's working, it'll likely be like 7 p.m. when he can come in. So like when we're doing coverage early in the morning, I'm not going to be able to do as much news. I'll try to keep up with it, but it's going to be pretty hard. Iran launched missiles into Israel 2 hours ago. Yeah, they've been launching a lot of missiles into Israel.
Mushroom.
I can't hear you, dude.
Mushroom cloud chaser.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
I like that.
Mushroom cloud chaser. I don't know. Like, yeah. Good luck with that one. If you're close enough to see that thing, you might be too close. It's a one-time thing. Oh my gosh. It's a one-time thing. Got anything?
I think that's it. I mean, you know, one of the things I will say, Evan talked a little bit about his politics. Look, I've always been a centrist. I remember we had to do a test when I was in high school all those years ago, and it had to basically tell you your political affiliations, and mine had me as a centrist. I think nowadays that might mean slightly conservative. I'm not sure about what the political spectrum is now compared to, I think, like, what, 2015? So, you know, but I'm going to try to give my best and unbiased news. I'm not going to just blindly support Trump. I'm not going to also blindly bash him. I'm going to try to look at the realistic takes about what's happening and give you my honest opinion. And that's all I can do. You know, just be honest with you guys and try to bring you the most up-to-date and true facts that we can possibly find. And hopefully it's informative, and hopefully you feel like we did the best we could.
Tell them who you voted.
I'm not.
Tell them who you voted for.
The Hamburglar.
Okay, I think they know who you voted for. And me, I am a progressive. I am definitely left leaning. But I've gotten here through, I spent a lot of time in my life sifting through news, and I for a long time in my life, I hadn't picked a side. Honestly, if it was somebody on the right that first called out this issue, I'd probably be on the right now. But it's mainly the progressives right now that really talk about how billionaires are, really taking over our politics, how we're turning more into an oligarchy. And so you're definitely going to get a different contrast. He's going to be reporting from, how he sees it, and I'm going to be reporting from how I see it. We're probably going to have debates in the future. One of the things that I want to do as well is to also have a line to the chat. So if people want to call in and give their opinions and, speak out about what they want to say, I'd love to be able to set up something where you guys can call us directly. I have an extra phone. I can probably set it up with another line, and you could say your piece on the topic as well. So it's going to be super interactive. Another thing that I'm going to have is that we're going to have a button on our thing here. And whenever I'm saying something and he thinks I'm lying, he's going to press the button and it's going to pop up liar on the stream. And I won't be able to talk until I research and either find out that I'm wrong or right. And if I'm wrong, I have to say it live on air. So we're going to be doing all of that. So that's just some of the... Really? I invite you into my house and you make my dog... No, I'm just kidding. He does that.
He's really trying to jump up and...
Yeah, we did do a forecast at the beginning of the stream.
If you need that.
If you needed that, we did do a forecast, pretty in-depth one. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. Why'd you pick him up by his stomach? Well, obviously not. It's okay. No, I'm just kidding. He does that when I pick him up. It doesn't matter what I do. I'm not gonna try and find it. I'm just contributing anymore unless you're just not contributing anymore unless it's weather. Hey, and that's if that's what you're all about, then that's what you're all about. That's what you're all about. But I personally, I love weather. I'm passionate about weather, but that's not the only thing I'm passionate about. And this is my channel, and I'm going to do what I want to do. And I want to show you guys who I am. And this is a huge part of my life. I don't talk about it with you guys ever, but I talk about it with my friends, my family all the time. And I probably talk about politics more than weather, if I'm being honest. But that's because no one wants to talk about weather. Yeah. No, like none of my friends care about it. They all care about politics. But you guys care. So we're going to still report on the weather, obviously. We'll be live. I'll be live tomorrow. Josh will probably come through at around 7 if he wants. And yeah. But what do y'all think? What do y'all think? You think we're crazy? What did y'all think of that? Were we being too biased? Daily lives? Might be daily videos and then live streams when like something big happens. I don't know. We might do daily lives, but we got to get Josh to quit his job. So if you guys want Josh to quit his job, come donate on Venmo and Cash App. That'll support us. We also want to do on the ground reporting. So like whenever there's like a huge protest or something big happening in the United States that we can actually plan for and go report, we want to do like live reporting as well. So yeah. Yeah, if you guys want to support us, we're independent. We're not going to have any corporate sponsorships. We're not going to take any money from Russia or China or Johnson and Johnson or Ford or what's like a pharmaceutical company? I guess Johnson and Johnson's technically one, but what's like the Pfizer? We're not going to take any money from that. We're going to be fully independent. We're going to be completely funded by you guys. So it's like PBS. Except more funny. Don't exactly see how mixing news reports in your weather channel is going to help your existing subscribers. It's not about you guys. This channel is about, you know, it is literally about reporting the weather, and now it's about reporting the news because that's what I like to do. Period. This is my channel. We're going to be reporting weather, and when news comes in, we're going to say it's not going to be this long. But yeah, we're going to be doing both. So. Who's the puppy reporter? Oh, is he showing up? Say hi, Jesse. Like, I'm on here to keep you guys safe from everything. All right. With the weather, obviously, I've been covering weather for 3 years. We have covered the most tornado warnings in the world on this channel, and we will treat the news in the same way with the same nerdiness and breaking it down for everybody. So yeah, you know, we're gonna have some newcomers in this channel. You know, if all your life is weather and you don't like the news at all, then, you know, maybe this channel isn't for you anymore. And I totally understand. I totally understand. But I'm passionate about the news. I want to talk about the news. I have big opinions and I have big thoughts. And yeah, what do you think about that?
Also at Links Zwu Driver Verrier. I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. I'm also excited for people to expose themselves. So
What?
not like that. Wait.
Joshua!
No. Did I say the wrong thing?
You.
Oh, anyways, I didn't mean like that. I meant like in the context of the Epstein files. Like they will, most of the people will get exposed. Not I.
That's even worse.
I give up.
Josh says he can't wait for the people in the Epstein files to expose themselves. That's what he just said. Wow. Publicly. Wow. Wow. No, you guys know what he means. You guys know what he means. He wants to see the corruption exposed.
It's
the corruption, not anything else. But yeah, anyways, we're going to hop off here for the night. I know this is a big change, and I know a lot of you guys have been following me for a long time, and it's going to really suck to see y'all go, but this is just how I want to do it, and this is how I'm going to do it. And yeah, we're going to have a lot of reporting. You guys are going to see me a lot more. We're going to be a lot more busy reporting on all the crazy news that's out there. And also, you know, we're in severe weather season, so we'll probably be live daily talking about that as well. Do we get a separate server / channel on Discord for this? Nope. It's all going to be just mixed in with everything. Probably going to be a separate channel for it, though. We'll probably have a separate section in our Discord, but not like a separate Discord. You're not going anywhere. Well, I appreciate that. Well, you guys have a good rest of the week, and we will see you guys later. Peace.